Been a while since I've done a on the deck video, so I thought I'd kind of share where we're at. My husband built two sets of stairs going up to the deck so I could use them as display gardens as well. And then we are going to put a cement skirt or a paver skirt going around the deck. So if we just take a quick look walking around, you can see that I have a platform or stairs on both sides, which is nice. And we have this little area here which needs to be refurbished a little bit, but you get the rough idea of what that's going to look like. The pavers are really nice. They have a wavy or a textured kind of pattern in them, which I really like. So they'll be too deep in here going all the way around, and it just will make it really kind of a nice tie. We'll tie it together really nice. So I'd like to take this time to go over all these containers that I have on the deck. The point of the On the Deck series is to show people that live in apartments or really small houses that don't have a good yard that they have options to use containers to bring food and beauty to their living area. The one thing that I did with this design is to make sure that I had a clear point of entry on each set of steps. One, I have these two containers here with some colorful annuals. And we always have a nice bird bath too that helps bring the birds in, and they get used to you and they'll come really close and be happy. So between the bird bath and then I have the bird feeders here. And that's a goldfinch you can see at the finch suck. On this entrance, stairway entrance, I have a couple of different pots, but it definitely, you can see how it flanks the entrance that way. If I stand a little bit more on center, the bird bath should be on center with the stairs. I'm standing a little crooked, but you get the idea. The other thing that I did is I brought some trees and shrubs out of my tree nursery to kind of fill in for now while I'm waiting for my dahlias, which are growing in the garden. And when they start to put on flowers, I'll replace these trees and shrubs or intermix the dahlias and containers in this area, as well as some other annuals that I'm planting in containers to bring on the midsummer blooms. As always, when you're doing garden design or even container design, you want to bring in different textures. So you can see I've got some viburnum here, as well as some white pines. And I think I even have some maple trees in this little mix. The colors and the textures are really pleasing to the eye when you do it this way. And it just looks good. So coming up on top of the deck and looking at one of the corners, you can see how I've got different colored containers. So this container has some nice red grass in it, as well as some dianthus and some celosia, which is orange color. And the reason I put this color combination together is really for my husband, who loves the oranges and the reds. So it's kind of a nice container. In this container I have this really fun grass. It's called fiber optic grass, and I saw it at the nursery. I thought it was just so cute. And then I put a coleus in here and some stock in this container, and then the backdrop is simply a mere maple shrub slash tree and a white pine, and the combination is really nice. In this container I have some more orange and red. I have this red verbena, which is really quite spectacular in its color. And then I have a red geranium that I picked out. I didn't know my husband doesn't like geraniums. He told me last night. I was like, well, I didn't know that. I got red flowers thinking, that he would like it, but he does not like geraniums. Note to self, I won't get geraniums next year. And this is a really nice tropical looking begonia. It goes really well. The vine I have growing up the trellis here is a cardinal climber, and I just came in. It was all the way to the top of this trellis this morning, and I cut it in half to get it to fill out more. So I just nipped it this morning, so it'll help it bush out more, and I'll be looking forward to seeing those red flowers that the cardinal climber is known for. So in this container I have two of them. There's a verbena. One is called Golden Showers. I'll show you more with this one, which is in bloom. So this is a verbena called Golden Showers that was pruned into a tree. I got this at Home Depot. It was pruned. I didn't do it. That came that way. And then I've got the lower level, the lower canopy is planted with some lavender and some white petunia, which is really nice and will help keep that soil cool. But it just is really, it's really just kind of a lovely combination. This is an herb pot I put together, and I'm not really pleased with this one. I need to redo it. Lettuce looks okay, but some of it is not doing so well. I should have put a different type of fiber or a piece of cardboard or something in there to help keep the soil in, so I'll have to fix it and note to self for next year, so that's a lesson learned. But I've got different herbs in here, so because my deck is right off my kitchen, it allows me to come out and snip some herbs when I need them, or even if I'm grabbing lettuce for a salad, it works quite well. This is a smaller yew plant. That's my first time I've ever had it, and I'm going to do some propagations off it. This is a Hicks yew, so just a common yew, because I need to have some different shrubs for my garden room that I'm prepping for next year. I'll have to start doing some propagations, and hopefully that turns out really well. This container has some straight 8 cucumbers, and I'm not liking how yellow they are. To me, they should be dark green. So I have put a little bit of iron tone in there, hoping that it would help. But I don't know if it's to me this should be a nitrogen deficient. To me, this is probably a nitrogen deficiency. I don't know what else it would be. I don't think they're overwatered. So I got a lot of perlite in there, so we'll see. This cute little container has some alyssum and some different color combinations, and some petunias and some really nice orange snapdragons, which I've never seen these before. It's like a fiesta mix. It's kind of cool. I always love the blue colors too, and the blue and white go together. And I put them in a white container, so I think they go well together. So this container has some bell peppers in it and some spinach, which is at the end of its usefulness. It's starting to really go to flower on me, and I need to cut it and get it out of here. And I put some other creeping thyme in here. I'm trying some different creeping ground covers in different areas, and I'm going to start them in containers, and I'm going to move them this fall into a test garden to see which ones will winter in my area. Again, I'm in zone 4. And I also have some onions that's tucked in here. You can see that, I think, under there. So this is a nice little vegetable container for the most part. This cute little container, I have planted a Clematis, a new one called Fireworks, at the back of the container, and I put a little trellis in. And then I have some Scabiosa or pincushion flower, which I planted, which is a perennial. And at the end of its flowering, I will pull it out and I will move it into my perennial beds. But for right now, I'm leaving it here. And then I've got the petunias, and I have a little light pink stalk flower that I put in here. So hopefully this will fill out. Again, we are only in mid-June. This will become really full by the end of summer. And then I've placed some really nice little pine trees from my nursery in here to kind of fill in the blank spots. In this container I have some more stock planted, some purple alyssum, some marigolds, just some basic yellow marigold, and some purple petunias. And it's a kind of a nice color combination. I'm thinking that the stalk is probably purple as well, although it's in between flowering right now. In the backdrop, you can see my little lilac bush. This is a bloomerang. I've got some videos I've done on how to prune bloomerangs, if you check out any of the pruning and propagation videos. And then I have Pacific Giant Delphinium behind there, which is going to be a blue, I think it's blue or purple, which is really kind of nice. So in this pot I have a cherry tomato plant. I just decided to put a big pole in there, and I'll tie it to the pole versus putting a cage up here. I just think I have so many trellises and up here that I didn't want to do another one. I got this is a really big bamboo pole. I got this at Menards, which is really kind of nice. And then also in here I put some petunias and some onions. Now the reason you do the petunias is it's supposed to be really good at keeping some of the bad bugs away from the tomatoes, and I've been doing it over the years, and my tomatoes are usually doing really well. The other thing I have in here are onions, if I didn't mention it already. You can see in the back there's onions, and then I do have some basil in here which I need to deadhead. It's got a flower on it, so we're just going to pop those flowers off. In the corner here I have a morning glory, which is just really quite lovely. It is so pretty and dark purple. It's pretty good sized. I bought it as a plant that was already sprouted, and it looked pretty good already. It was probably a foot tall when I got it, so that's why it's ahead of schedule. Usually you won't see morning glories here until August in Zone 4 by Minneapolis. I have a different clematis here in the background. Here, this is Rebecca. She was the first to bloom. She's already been blooming for more than 2 weeks. I'll continue to deadhead her, and then she will give me another set of blooms in August or September, which is just fun. So around my bird bath I got some nice planters here too, with different things in it, some tropical looking plants. This again is an orange tuberous begonia, and this is actually basil. It's like a ruby variety of basil, and this is a variety of cordyline with the pink lines on it, and it likes a little bit more shade. That's why I put it underneath the bird bath to give it a little bit of protection in the afternoon. And then I also have some nice carnations in here as well that I got. I just have to keep deadheading them. But you can see it's just kind of a nice little tropical looking container. This container is a nice little herb container I have. And I have some curly leaf parsley, which I usually plant for the swallowtail butterflies to lay eggs on. Although obviously you could eat it to freshen your breath after a nice meal. The geranium is there just for a pop of color. I don't eat the geranium. And then this is some lemon thyme, which I'm going to allow it to go to flower. That's fine. And then I've got some Italian oregano and some rosemary. And for me, I need these herbs because I'm going to make a whole bunch of sun-dried tomatoes, which I actually do it in the oven. And it's one of my favorite ways to eat chicken. I do Tuscan chicken, and it's just absolutely divine, but I do it all with my own herbs, which is just fun. And this little container is, again, just a little pop of color. It's got a coleus in there. I think it's called a watermelon variety. And then I've got some more carnations, and again I just need to deadhead a couple of these. They smell awesome. And then I've got a pink stock flower growing back there as well, with a spike in the middle. And then this taller flower here is actually a sunflower that came from my bird feeder, and it planted itself, and I thought, well, I'll leave it there. That might be kind of fun. Moving on, this is a different vegetable planter with a little bit of pop of color. So I've got some more basil, got lots of basil. Again, I gotta deadhead it. I got some pansies, some petunias. This is actually a patio tomato variety, specially bred for containers. I bought that plant, I did not grow it from seed. But I'm trying to put basil in with all of my tomato plants. And then on top of my little table here, I have a little container and I have some cilantro, some little pieces of cilantro and some more onions. So that's just for culinary use. I actually was raising basil in this, and then I just recently potted up the cilantro and the onions, which I grew from seed. In this big container, which is a quite large container, I have some hot cherry peppers planted in here and some peas that I'll have grow up the trellis. My husband wanted some hot cherry peppers and I had to go to a specialty store to get them. I could not find seed for them anywhere, so I had to buy them. I was so happy when I came across them. He wants me to can them, and I'll give that a try. Hopefully we get enough to fill up a quart jar. I don't know how many we're going to get, but we'll have to wait and see. So that should be kind of fun. I'll be doing quite a bit of canning and hopefully get some canning videos going later this fall, or late summer anyway. And then surrounding this, I put a whole bunch of lavender. Most of it's culinary lavender, which I actually use only for the beauty and the scent. And then I do have one variety is a perennial variety in there. That's Munstead that I bought. This is really a nice container that I bought this year, which has a built-in trellis on it. And what I've put in here is a jasmine plant. Again, my husband loves the jasmine and we're trying to get that going. And then I've got some lettuce planted. I actually had some spinach in here as well, and I just removed it because it was done. The lettuce looks wimpy on the right side because I actually just transplanted those seedlings in here. And the other lettuce is just fine. I do have another rogue sunflower in there as well. But jasmine is just extremely well scented, and it really is a nice add to a patio or a deck area. And the other thing that I did recently this year is I painted, or I stained, the top of the deck blue with a duck stain, a solid color duck stain. And we really love it. This color is called Federal Blue, and I got it from Menards. This is a Cabot type of stain, and we just really love it. So hopefully it holds up. I'll let you know. So I hope this deck tour gave you some ideas for your own deck or patio area where you can use some containers to bring some nice flowers and food and extend your own patio. Thanks for stopping by. Have a great day.